coming. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, there's a lot in the National Football League that's saying, how do you like me now? After the trade deadline came and went yesterday, there were a handful of deals. There were players on the move. There was a chatter around the National Football League that included a Jaguar yesterday during our show, Travis Etienne. Phones ringing, inquiries made. Nothing really happened, but we definitely will look back at some of those. Like Zadarius Smith going to the Detroit Lions. They made a move because they had a guy that went down with injury. And a handful of others. Mike Williams to the New York Jets. Marshawn Lattimore, a handful worth looking at. We'll definitely do that and kind of wrap up the trade deadline from yesterday. But we have got so much to get into today. The Golf Club of Southampton brings you XLP on a Wednesday, and we definitely love them. We were out there earlier this week having a good time with the St. Joe's Golf Tournament, and the greens are coming in nicely after every challenge that they had. They're really happy with the work that they've been doing, so definitely head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton, and you have all sorts of other great things you can enjoy. Thursday night trivia, Friday night music on the patio, membership opportunities, big practice area, all of it at the Golf Club of Southampton. So this is our main thing today. We're definitely going to dig in on the Jags and talk a little bit more about them. But, RJ, let's just go ahead and fire this bad boy up right now because this was top of mind last night.
Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Prime Time. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
Yeah, they're going to be there when that champion is crowned, that's for sure, and we're definitely going to be looking at it. It was interesting. We did our XLP to the CFP yesterday, and there was definitely some changes in our polls, guys that we kicked out or teams we kicked out, and others that we moved up, including Matt Hayes moving Boise State all the way into his top four, which I found outrageous, but he did do it. And we'll see whether or not Boise State can be the spoiler of this college football playoff party when it's all said and done. So how about some reaction, Matt, from the first reveal of the college football playoff ranking?
So what I thought was very interesting was, we hear this narrative all the time now. It's from the media. It's from coaches. It's from, heck, just the average Joe in the street. Mm-hmm. The polls don't mean anything, right? The polls prior to the season, the polls the first few weeks of the season, they're garbage. Nobody cares about them. Why are they even doing it? And now, especially since the playoff poll comes in November.
Right.
Lo and behold, the first poll comes out, the college football playoff, and it is nearly identical to the Associated Press poll. Mm-hmm. The only difference is the playoff poll has Ohio State 2 and Georgia 3. The Associated Press poll has Georgia 2 and Ohio State 3.
Right.
So, for anyone who says that those polls don't mean anything, and the best part is Ward Manuel, one of the first Ward Manuel is the Michigan AD, mm-hmm. the director, or the point of the spear of the committee, okay? Whatever they want to call him, the director, the lead guy in the committee, okay? He's the guy that basically has to talk about what they did and get brutalized for it. Mm-hmm. So he comes out there last night, one of the first things he says was, we don't look at the other polls. It's just funny how they literally mimic the Associated Press poll.
And the first three in the preseason are right back there, as Matt's saying, Leon. Yeah. They're just in a little bit of a slightly different order. Where you start is a head start.
Here's the thing. Me being an ACC lad, what I noticed in there was a top-heavy Big Ten and SEC snobs among you. Four from each conference, one from the ACC, one from the Big 12, then
your Boise State,
and then Notre Dame.
Yeah. So you got an independent. You got a group of 5.
Yeah, I had an issue with it. I had SMU.
You got an issue, get your tissue.
Oh, you're gonna steal my line. I love it.
You better believe that.
I just love it. No. Listen, I enjoyed the intrigue, the whole grandstanding and pulling guys up from the bottom to the top, and then where guys are going to be positioned and stuff like that. You know, it was very interesting because when the first polls call came out, I saw Miami at 3.
Right.
And Miami would have the winner, which would be classic, Alabama or Texas in the first round. Oh, I got to find a way to get to that game.
Uh-huh.
I really do. Really, absolutely.
All right, so when we look at this bad boy, at the very least right now, and we can have fun with it, this is how we basically kind of hatched our CFP or XLP to the CFP, is that you would have the first 4, and they don't necessarily have to be in a particular order. One thing Matt made mention of yesterday when he moved Boise State into his top 4 was basically saying it doesn't have to be the Power 4 champions. It can be that
It's the 4 highest rated champions.
Yeah, of a conference. Yeah, and so you can have fun with that if you want. If you love on Boise State, and Matt's definitely trying to sell the Broncos to you, but right now you have, with the first CFP top 25 that comes out, Oregon is right now the leader in the Big Ten, so they're in that top spot, and they basically are being looked at as a team that would set up beautifully to lead the charge. Give us the matchups, Matt, if you go through the first 4, knowing that they have a first-round bye, because this is always the cool part, going 12-5, 11-6, so on and so forth.
Well, I mean, if you look at, so let's look at the poll right now, and you're looking at the college football playoff poll, the very first one. The first 4 byes are Oregon gets a bye at 1, Ohio State gets a bye at 2, Georgia gets a bye at 3, and Miami gets a bye at 4. So that leaves then.
Explain how the top 2 are in the Big Ten. And just the way they set this bad boy up, because that has to change. There's no clarification.
Those are the rankings, right?
Exactly.
Those are the rankings. Sorry, those are the rankings.
Sure
the seeds. The seeds are Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, BYU 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the seeds. So if you're looking at it that way, all right, because you got to look at because the seeds are the way to look at how it's going to play out.
Exactly.
Then you've got Boise State playing the 5. The 5 seed is Ohio State. So you got Boise State traveling to Ohio State to play Ohio State, which is going to be a fun game. Because as I've said over and over, Boise State probably should have beaten Oregon at Oregon in week 2. That's going to be a very, very fun game. All right, and I'm, you know what? I don't have the seeds in front of me, Joe, but I'm guessing they're not as that difficult. Hang on, let me pull them up real quick.
Yeah, because it's funny the way that you can sit there and you can mess with it. The first team out is SMU. The second team out is Texas A&M. And I would have a little bit of a problem. Oh, there it is right there, too. Matt, if you take a look at it.
Right.
Alabama and Texas will be facing off.
This is what you're looking at. Ohio State against Boise in Columbus. Indiana playing in Austin. Another just phenomenal game. 11 Indiana in Austin, which would be very fun. Then you've got Alabama going to South Bend to play Notre Dame.
Right.
And then Tennessee going to Happy Valley to play Penn State. And then those winners feed into the quarterfinals, which are already set. They're going to be set up to where it's the existing tie-in. So the SEC champ, which they're saying is Georgia, will play in the Sugar Bowl. Miami will play in the Peach. If you're saying it's Oregon, Oregon will play in the Rose. And then BYU will play in, I believe it's the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't see
Dallas, one of the 2.
Yeah, and so it sets up beautifully to where we would have some great first-round games. It creates all this intrigue and excitement like Leon's talking about. And then you got to start to piece this bad boy together. Is it going to work? Are there going to be blowouts? Are there going to be teams that are sitting there being and moaning because they're on the outside looking in, like SMU? SMU has that one loss to an unbeaten team. You can use Boise State in your argument. They've got a loss to an unbeaten team. And so both of them certainly have arguments, but now SMU just picked off an unbeaten team. Now, they may not have played anybody in terms of the Pitt Panthers, but that's where we are. You're trying to fight and prove that you belong in the conversation. Notre Dame has an ugly loss. They're still trying to fight and prove. It's interesting that they're in, and now Texas A&M, after getting mollywopped by South Carolina, is one of 2 teams that are the first 2 out.
But, and here's the key, Texas A&M is the only SEC team that controls its destiny. If Texas A&M wins out, they get to the SEC championship game, which then all they need is a win and they're in. So they're the only team of the 16 in the league that controls its destiny. It's a wild SEC race right now. In fact, I just wrote a story. It's coming out in about an hour on USA Today. We're not that far away, and really the only upset in this scenario would be Texas A&M losing at Auburn, which could absolutely happen.
Yeah, as bad as Auburn is, but yeah.
And if everything else basically goes chalk.
Sorry, War Eagle. You suck right now.
They do, but they're very good on defense, and they play well at home.
Yeah.
So you're just going to need one upset. You're going to have 7 teams at 10-2 and 6-2 in the SEC.
All right, here's what I fight, Leon, because Texas A&M, yes, they do control their own destiny, and they may be able to inch right back up into that CFP top 12. But they just got smoked on the road. They had the lead in that ball game against South Carolina. Had the lead, and then Mr. Lenora Sellers in South Carolina, he went for 244 and 2 touchdowns. Baby. Had 106 rushing yards and a touchdown, and they scored the last 20,000? Yeah, 20,000 points, basically.
Well, Matt said it last week. He said he could easily see Texas A&M lose the next 3 games.
Right, right, easily. But here's the great thing, too, Joe, is South Carolina. You going to tell me there's 25 teams in the nation better than South Carolina right now?
I got to give Shane Beamer credit. Look, I bow to cocky. I don't like to do that. But Shane,
that's a drop, RJ.
Yeah, but Shamey, I give him a lot of credit for what he's done. He has put together a ferocious front on that defense.
Front four, yes. And those bookend DNs.
Oh, my gosh. And Lenore's.
And one's a true freshman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Plus, they're the way they're running the ball, with not only with Rock Sanders, but Lenore Sellers. Like, they run that zone read, and you got to choose which poison you're going to take, man. Yeah. And the problem with South Carolina the last couple of years is their offensive line has been terrible.
And you get Rock rumbling. That's a good player, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rock Sanders, you get him going. It's you have to choose between which one of those guys you got to go after, which is obviously what the zone read is all about. But they struggled the last 2 years because they were in a different offense. They were a throw offense. Now they're more of a zone read offense. And because their offensive line was terrible, they couldn't protect and they couldn't run block.
Right.
Now they're better on the offensive line, and you're better on the offensive line when you have a quarterback who can do the run game with the zone read stuff, and who can make defenses force defenses to commit and put them in conflict. Because if you've got a guy that can make a guy miss, that's one less guy you got to block.
It's the legend of RPO.
It's one less guy you got to block. If you got a guy that can do that, and Sellers is a guy that can do that. You're gonna cause people problems.
All right, so people are hammering. We need to get into this a little bit. Who do you not like in the position that they're in the first 12? We'll do that coming up. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, you want me to tell you now?
Yeah. You can at least tease us with this. Okay, all right. That's what I wanted to hear. Because Catholics versus convicts.
Northern Illinois, really? At home?
They played 2 MAC schools. Not only have they played 2 MAC schools, they've played an ACC schedule that's just embarrassing.
All right, so
including Florida State, and hang on, one more, 2 service academies.
I know. All right, so 641-1010, what you like, what you don't. As far as the first college football playoff rankings that have come out, we'll invite you to go find on X or on YouTube our XLP to the CFP, where we break it all down, and you can definitely offer up your suggestion. 641-1010. Jump in the chat on YouTube on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures as we get it cranking on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Step into another football weekend with Pregame Friday.
You got to go up-tempo with urgency.
Absolutely. Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
Are we ready? Yes.
Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged-up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better. Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
It's a sale so big, it's been over 40 years in the making.
It's Beard's Diamonds' incredible 44th anniversary sale. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 44% off.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Keeping up with Seminole Nation.
Join the Noles and their road to repeat as ACC champs.
Stay close to the Seminoles with the Florida State Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Hi Jags fans, Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at goosehead.com.
Swammin, when was the last time that you cleaned your air ducts?
Dad, I manage the air duct cleaning at Zero Res. Trust me, my ducts are cleaner than the plates after Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I hope so, but it's not just you I'm thinking of. Everyone in Jacksonville should get their air ducts cleaned before the holidays.
You're right. Even though we don't blast the heat like up north, we still trap dust and allergens when the windows stay shut. All that gunk just recirculates through your home and makes your air quality worse.
So you're saying Zero Res air duct cleaning keeps my air fresh and ready for my holiday guests?
Exactly. Clean ducts means cleaner air, just in time for Thanksgiving. Plus, we've got a November special running right now. Call Zero Res today and we'll give you $50 off. No more dust, just fresh, clean air for you and your family this holiday season.
Sounds good, son. Now, how about that family discount?
We'll see, Dad.
Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com or call now. Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both with everyday deals at Sonny's? Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all-you-can-eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
This is Hayes Chase Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
21 minutes after the 2 o'clock hour Wednesday, we are cranking. Hump Day is here. Half of the week done. The other half, well, you still got to perform. You know, you got to get the job done. We love hanging out with you guys. Appreciate you tuning in to us. Joe C., Matt Hayes, big Leon Searcy, Hurricane Hall of Famer that he is, and RJ. And you're fired up about the Hurricanes and their position with the XLP. You just mentioned a minute ago a couple of teams, well, one team specifically that you are not too happy to see where they're positioned in the college football playoff. And you guys can hit us. When you looked at that top 12, what was the first thing you threw a dart at? What was the first thing you said, well, that ranking sucks? 641-1010. You guys can throw it our way, or you can jump in the chat. But you say Notre Dame.
I say Notre Dame.
Why?
I mean, their first game of the year against Texas A&M, you know, doesn't look. I mean, it's a little lofty now the way they got smoked against South Carolina just a week ago, and then they, like Matt has said, they played Army, they played Navy, and their lone loss is at home to Northern Illinois. I mean, I think it's the brand. It's
Air Force they played. Yeah.
It's the brand and
it's the brand.
And the rosaries and all that kind of stuff go around with it. Touchdown Jesus. all that factors into their favorability, which is I don't have a problem with. But I'm just saying you can't lose to Northern Illinois and not be in a conference and then somehow be in the top 12 as far as the brackets go.
Yeah. The worst thing that happened to Notre Dame after losing to Northern Illinois was Northern Illinois losing in the way that they lost. And so that's what messes you up.
They've lost 5 games, I think. 4 or 5
exactly.
games.
So them losing in the way they've lost is that, and this is the classic line that we would always use when you either had the BCS or you had the CFP top 4, and now in this case the top 12, you are forced to root for them. And it doesn't make any sense because then it comes down to the opponent's record and all this kind of stuff, and it's just nonsense. But you have to ask the question, is Notre Dame one of the top 12 teams in America? That's really what you have to ask yourself. And then the other half of this, and you know this, eyeballs on ball games.
You better believe
that. And if
that.
they're close, let's just say, would you agree with this, Matt? You're going to take 12 out of the top 18 when it comes to eyeballs and records.
Let's just say they are a mega television property, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So let's also be intellectually honest here. They won at College Station. That's a big win.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if Texas A&M wins out and gets to the SEC championship game.
Right.
Then that's their card. Now, knowing all that and saying that, okay, they've got a schedule that includes, like I said, 2 MAC schools. One of them they lost to.
Mm-hmm.
2 service academies, Army and Navy.
Mm-hmm.
The worst Big Ten team, Purdue. And 5 ACC schools, including maybe the worst power conference school in the country right now, which would be Florida State. And the worst USC team since pre-2000.
Mm-hmm.
So they clearly have an advantageous schedule, I guess is my point. But while the NIU loss looks bad, like you said, they're rooting for Texas A&M.
Right.
Because the more Texas A&M wins, the better their resume looks.
Yeah. That's what they want more than anything else. And
by the way, they're not the only one that's overvalued right now. Texas is overvalued. Penn State's overvalued. What has Texas done?
I put Texas and Penn State in the same pile. They had huge ball games in their own backyard, had the atmosphere and everything. College game day was at both of these games. Texas, Georgia. Texas could not do anything offensively. Used 2 quarterbacks, went from the first to the second, went back to the first. That's how bad Texas was that day. And then you take a look at Penn State Saturday, and they certainly had their opportunities. They had goal line situations. Tyler Warren sets him up inside, the 2 or 3 yard line?
3, at the 3.
And then I don't believe he touched the ball after that.
Did not touch the ball.
And so Penn State.
By the way, and I'm convinced that's James Franklin because Andy Kotelnicki, the new OC,
yeah,
there's no way he's running the ball 4 straight times or 3 straight and then throw it in the end zone, begging Drew Allard to make a play in a bad situation.
Yeah. And that's honestly, you want to talk about the opportunity to be there.
That's James Franklin headset going, run the ball.
They're 1-10 against Ohio State since James Franklin arrived.
Is that bad?
I mean, if you think about it, their resumes are almost identical because Penn State has a win over a ranked Illinois team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were 21st or something when they beat them.
Yeah.
Illinois is a pretty good team. It's not, hey, we beat Illinois. It's not that kind of win, okay?
Right.
And Texas has a win at Vandy. And Vandy's a fringe top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
Like it or not, they are. So, and the rest of the schedule, the Texas schedule is they beat up a bad Michigan team. Penn State beat up a bad West Virginia team.
Right.
They're very similar in what they did. I think they're both overvalued right now.
Yeah, and so those are probably the 2 teams that most people are looking at and throwing darts at. And if you want, you could throw darts at BYU or whatever, but right now they're the highest ranking Big 12 team and on their way possibly to win it. You could throw darts at Indiana because of their schedule, but they are still an unbeaten Big 10 team. Now, they got that big ball game against the Buckeyes, and we're going to find out. I saw a note when you talk about where they are in terms of going up against Ohio State. You're talking decades and decades of having not been a factor in the Big Ten this late in the season, and they've got a chance to be an unbeaten team going up against the Buckeyes. We're talking going all the way back to, the 30s or the 40s in the 20th century, which is just nuts.
They got a big one this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's home. It's against Michigan.
It's against Michigan.
At the very least, you got to at least show out a little bit,
Yeah.
I think they need to do that. Then they've got 2 weeks off to prepare for Ohio State. I mean, you're giving them 2 weeks to prepare. They're going on the road. It's a tough environment. But, look, they've really played well.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Rourke is healthy again. And, by the way, Curtis Rourke is a fringe Heisman guy. They go into Columbus and win that game, and he has 4 tuds.
Yeah.
He suddenly becomes a main Heisman guy.
Well, he's been balling. I'll give him a lot of credit. And this is also a guy that we asked. We'll talk to Dr. George Barry a little bit later on today. Gio, we asked him about it, 2 Wednesdays ago when he had surgery on his thumb. They ruled him out, but then they were able to put him right back in the following week, and look what he's been able to do. So he definitely has kicked tail, that's for sure. And he will be one of those guys that absolutely they will be loving on. That's for sure. So you start looking at it. I love the possibility of the matchups that we're talking about right now, but you have to figure out which one of these teams is going to be stressed. November's already tough enough. You know this, playing for national championships. Alabama and LSU have a hell of a game coming up on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And elimination.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Alabama's in it. In other words, they're in the first 12 right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who feels more pressure, LSU and Brian Kelly or Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. But Alabama's got to prove something that they can stay in there.
Oh, you know who has the most pressure? Kellen DeBoer.
Yeah, he does.
They lose this game and they're out, bro.
That's a de facto playoff game right there.
Yeah.
It's a play-in game is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brian Kelly's got pressure too, man.
Oh, yes.
He absolutely does. So he's got to win that game as badly as Kalen DeBoer does.
Right.
But the reason why I say Kellen DeBoer, because you can't be 1 year away from Nick Saban and then all of a sudden you're out the playoff contention.
Yeah, that they will be on him hard for that.
Come on, bro.
They will.
I mean,
and they lost to Vanderbilt.
Fair or unfair, they'll be on him hard. And here's what's so funny, and we talked about this earlier. And by the way, I love Tide fans, and I love Gigadom as well because they're so passionate. But they went from, what is this guy? Why are we hiring this guy? To, oh my gosh, look at the class he's been able to put together. Oh my gosh, he's up 4 scores on Georgia. He might be better. And they started to even whisper that to themselves. He might be better than. And then they lose after that, the way they lost, and then they lose again to Tennessee. So they lost to Rocky Top and then some out of the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, and they should have lost what was the game after?
It was South Carolina.
They should have lost that game.
Easily could have
They
lost.
could have lost
South
that
Carolina.
game too easily.
By the way, one of our texters says, we do this every year with South Carolina. Let's not do it again.
I don't disagree with him, but
I'm
you know
just
what?
giving him credit.
I don't disagree with him, but I will tell you this. That team last Saturday night, playing like that could beat any team in the SEC.
I have to give him credit this year. And I like I said, I don't fall in love with Shane Beamer in South Carolina.
Nor do I.
And so I want to give them credit because I think that's.
And I want to agree with the text on the text line. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that this team looks a little different, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think South Carolina, Vandy, maybe Ole Miss are teams you probably want to see early, maybe don't want to see late.
Right. And by the way, Ole Miss and Georgia, you want to talk about another big game?
Yeah.
Coming up this Saturday, which we will.
I'll give you another big game.
Yeah.
Hockey goes into Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Diego!
Yeah. Vandy might be able to do it. Let me tell you something. There was nothing better than in my parlay last week to include Diego. And I definitely had him in my parlay. I loved it. All right, here's another question. If Texas is overvalued, how is Georgia not overvalued? So we'll touch on that coming up in just a little bit. It's XL Primetime. Let's get to your Jags as they get ready for the Vikes on Sunday. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Whenever you are thinking about setting up your weekend, you can go out there and play some golf. Then you can come back and watch all that college ball. They got their game day special. That's a tremendous serving of wings and a pitcher. Make sure you take advantage of that. And anything else, call 287-PLAY and get you a round going at the Golf Club of Southampton.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here. And fellas, we all know that athletes train every day to perform better on the field, right? Well, what if you could enhance your performance in the bedroom? No training required. That's right. I'm talking about that secret weapon, Blue Chew. A chewable tablet with the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and Staxin. That ships right to your door in a discreet package. No doctor visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's all online. Their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. They also have Daily Tag that contains 7 essential vitamins. And it's chewable too. And now you can try Blue Chew for the free ski. That's right, for free on me. Visit BlueChew.com and enter my promo code 1010XL. You only have to pay $5 for shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's promo code 1010XL. Let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
1 second left. Hackers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
Florida's weather is unpredictable. Don't let the Epic Chill catch you off guard. For reliable heating services, call Epic Cool Heating and Air. Keep your home cozy all season long. Call 904-859-EPIC. 904-859-3742.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1981, Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitcher Fernando Valenzuela became the first rookie in MLB history to win the National League Cy Young Award.
Now, the Hurricane Report, brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Another 50-burger for the Miami Hurricanes, this time in a 53-31 victory over Duke. As always, quarterback Cam Ward showed out, this time 400 yards and 5 touchdowns through the air. Miami is now up to number 4 in the latest AP poll. Up next for the Canes, it's Georgia Tech at noon. The Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
Jacksonville. I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range for our White Tag sales event. Up to 20% off all White Tag firearms all October with a huge selection of guns, ammo, and gear, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got what you need to hit your target. If you're a pro or just starting, their friendly experts will guide you at 4630 Planning Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Guns and Range, gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Trayvon Walker flexed on the Eagles in a massive way over the weekend. The teal and black defensive end recorded 7 tackles, with 6 being solo, and he would pitch in a fumble recovery in what was a bright spot for Jacksonville. Walker's superior play was just what the doctor ordered, and he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson spoke this morning about the re-signing of quarterback C.J. Beathard.
Yeah, so obviously, C.J. was here and Mac was here, and from our standpoint, we felt like we had a really good quarterback room with the 3 guys, and obviously C.J. got hurt there in camp, and we had to let him go and all that, but we definitely wanted to at some point get him back here. I think it just strengthens our roster, strengthens that room. Trevor's sore, obviously, and it gives us assurance.
Doug Peterson this morning. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Definitely having a good day coming out of what should be a lesson in how to finish out games late, back-to-back weeks for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Can they do something with that? When you're in a late game situation, Leon, you got a chance to win. It burns when you can't get the job done, especially when you were down 22-0 and you came back in a football game and you made it interesting in the end, but then everyone's getting blamed for making mistakes down the stretch. What's the locker room like when they come back to work on a Wednesday?
Well, I mean, you're disappointed as a player that you couldn't finish the game, of course. But in this business, no one cares. So you got to get over it. You got to watch the film. You got to flush it. And the best thing about the NFL is that you get another opportunity.
Right.
You get another opportunity. No matter how bad your record is, and how poorly you played the weeks before, you always get another opportunity to better yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to improve upon what you did the week prior. So, I mean, that's the way you got to look at it as a player.
You know what? It's a new me today.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's just, I woke up, the sun was out. It's not out anymore.
Beautiful day is what
Yeah,
you
it is a beautiful day.
Beautiful day today.
Everything is possible.
Every day's a beautiful
Everything is
Listen,
possible beginning today, man.
Every day's
You
a
kidding
beautiful
me?
day when you open your eyes.
Just a wonderful day today.
Mm-hmm.
So you're Mr. Positivity is what you're saying.
I think they're going to beat the Vikings Sunday. That's what I think.
I
think those white helmets are coming on, and I think they're going to beat.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to beat the Vikings, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, it's a new me. It's new me today.
So this is
starting, in the words of Kramer, now. Starting now. This is it.
So the unis are doing it for you. That's the reason why.
Well, it's the unis and other things, but yeah.
What
with
other
that white
things?
helmet.
The white
helmet and other things, but yeah, the white helmet.
okay.
But it's
geeked
funny
about the
because
white helmet.
we were joking yesterday. Sammy Darnold, one of the last times he came, I'm pretty sure it was the last time he came to Duval. He was seeing Ghost, and he was wearing a Jets helmet, and we know that he is well traveled since then. Someone correct me on the text line if he's been back since. That's just popping in my head right now. Maybe wrong, but he was seeing Ghost. And this guy has had, the classic football resurrection. He has been brought back from the dead, and he's up there in Minnesota, and they started off great guns, one of their best starts they've ever had. Then they dropped 2 in a row, and then you're like, okay, they're the same old Sammy. Well, it wasn't all him, but anyway, they worked Joe Flacco defensively the other night. Definitely Brian Flores' defense on that side of the ball. You know how tough they're going to be. And if they can come in here, it's not like this football team hasn't proven that they can score with people. It's just what is Brian Flores and company defensively going to do to Trevor and company?
I just feel like anything's possible right now, Joe.
Yeah, listen, I love that attitude, man.
I do too.
Mr. Positivity.
I just hit, man. I just feel like anything's possible. Yeah. Random Wednesday.
Instead of him being.
Did you hit on your parlay or something?
Just
Something
completely
going on.
random.
Something's going on.
I hit on a parlay, all right.
Yeah, completely random. What we call him? What was he? Not a dream killer. We had another name.
Oh,
Joy killer.
Joy
Joy
killer.
killer.
No, there's nothing but joy now, baby.
All right,
Joy.
all right. Joy in Whoville.
Love
all
it.
right. But honestly, the defense, we know that they have been really worked left and right. Ronald Darby, again, another big game against him. Many others. You guys were arguing, or not arguing, but laughing about Tyler Lacey and what he's done. And what was your opinion, Matt, that he hadn't done a whole...
He hadn't done anything.
He hadn't really done anything, right?
Yeah, he was a 4th-round pick a couple of years ago, and he can't get in the rotation on a bad team.
All right, so I wanted to bring this up, and this is not my this is not my work. I'm giving Big Cat Country 100% credit for this because they do the snap count like John Shipley and many others do. Let's make this the 10-10 take right now.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
So, Sonny's, whenever you are having a terrible day, you can't get it done, it just isn't right, you need you a good meal and a good rack of ribs, some slow smoked chicken, pork, pulled pork, turkey, brisket, whatever it might be. They can always give you a good meal, get you back on the road quickly, and then maybe with a refreshed frame of mind. Well, I looked at it, okay? And Big Cat came up with all the defensive snaps from this game this past week against the Philadelphia Eagles. And here's what drives anybody out there crazy. First off, the line shifts that we have been treated to, courtesy of Ryan Nielsen, and the way that they've been in a lot of these football games, defensively just rotating guys left and right. I had to look at it, and I had to look at it again. But Tyler Lacey had more defensive snaps than Eric Armstead.
Is that right?
Yeah, he had 41 defensive snaps, 52% of the snap count on Sunday. Eric Armstead played 37 defensive snaps. It is worth noting that they noted D end Eric Armstead, D tackle Tyler Lacey. As a matter of fact, Tyler Lacey and Jeremiah Ledbetter had more defensive snaps than Eric Armstead. That is the 10-10 take. There is something hugely wrong with that. First off, Tyler Lacey has not moved the meter when he's been out there, yet he's out there more than 91.
Yeah, that's outrageous. That's Armstead being lazy. Got to be him being lazy. Or
I don't know.
Or him saying, let the young buck get some reps. He's pulling this seniority card. Something's going on.
He's pacing himself, bro.
Yeah, there it is. He's pacing himself. I like that part right
Well, he
there.
basically, Eric Armstead basically played 20 less snaps than Trayvon and Josh Hines-Allen. Both of those guys were in a large part, basically 3/4 of the defensive snaps. The cornerbacks, the secondary in large part, they were all out there a bunch. This is another one that kind of should get you out there in Duval land. Cisco played in all of the defensive snaps. Darnell Savage, all but one. Antonio Johnson played in 5. That's how quickly he has fallen from where he was. Now, remember, he was trotted out as a starter there for a while in the first handful of games. Tyson Campbell's been able to come back, and you're thankful right now that the hammy is holding up. He played in all of the 79 defensive snaps. Think of the number of snaps they had against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you had guys like Ronald Darby that was out there a bunch, but still is getting worked every single time. He's just more of a liability than he is anything in that secondary, unfortunately.
How many snaps did Jordan Jefferson play?
He was in that 20 neighborhood.
All right, because he made one more play than Eric Armstead did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he is, I'll give you the number. It was 16 defensive snaps, 20% of the time. And so you can just go down the line, and he had a sack and a quarterback hit. And so Jordan Jefferson, I don't know whether he'll develop into a good player or not. There's another 4th-round pick like you're talking about. Mm-hmm. He's a rookie. Tyler Lacey's a second-year 4th-rounder. Ledbetter is a guy that's just been hanging on. And by the way, he's still making some plays when he's out there, had a tackle for loss. So I will give him credit. There just is not enough good on this football team, particularly up front.
Yeah, they don't have enough impactful players up front to make plays.
Maybe the idea is to play the young guys because
this particular
season's over, so you play the young guys, right?
Yeah, well, Mason Smith, I mean, he's another healthy scratch.
Exactly. So
I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense.
So you got 2 4th-rounders. You got an undrafted veteran in Jeremiah, and Mason Smith is nowhere to be found, okay? And then the other part of it is at the very least, Trayvon and Hines-Allen both made plays in this game on Sunday. Trayvon with the scoop and score, and he definitely was a force, and so was 41 against Jalen Hurts quite a bit of this game. But it was obviously the run support and all the other things they weren't able to do against Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, well, see, my problem with this organization is the fact that we don't have enough wide-body guys interiorly. We got little short, stubby guys. We got linky guys. We ain't got no guys where you got to move furniture to get them up off the line of scrimmage. We don't have no kind of guys. Every other team I look at that's good, that's winning, the Lions, the Chiefs, those type of things. They've got big body guys at the 1 and 3 technique.
Yeah,
we don't have that. We have little short, stubby guys, long, linky guys, that kind of stuff.
And by the way,
those guys work. Trust me, those guys work.
They're also stuck in between. And this is a Trent Baalke problem as well as a defensive problem because there's all sorts of theories and thoughts and rumors and ideas about how this whole defensive coordinator was hired and how this defensive scheme was basically constructed on that side of the ball when they have been drafting for the last couple of years off of a 3-4 as opposed to a 4-3. And that's why you don't have.
That's probably why.
Yeah, you don't have a big baby and a big hen inside. Like you were treated to when they did have a dominant 4-3, like they did back.
Or, and I'm just throwing this out there, okay? Mm-hmm. Or you could have drafted Cooper Beebe in the 2nd round, and he'd be starting for you right now.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think there's any question that the interior part of this offensive line is still a big hole. But we were watching a highlight during one of the breaks. Walker Little, while he played okay, he still got trucked in a lot of those situations. He still got handled.
Got trucked once.
Well, no. I
played pretty well after that.
I'll go back and show you a couple of the other highlights for maybe other players in the actual tape, not necessarily.
Well, when I watched it on TV, I know why they got trucked because you remember when I was watching the play and I said hit him now and he drift back even more. Yeah, his timing's off. Yeah, he was on skates, man. You can't be retreating against a guy like that.
Okay, explain that real quick. Because
I'm saying that the position that he had the defensive lineman was on was a 7 technique, and it's hard enough when you're on the road. You can't hear, so you got to look in at the ball and you got to know where you got to intersect the guy and hit his hands. And what I saw is that when Walker Little got off initially on his set, his timing on hitting that guy with a punch was off. And he found himself retreating, and the next thing you know, he's getting bull rushed. So, I mean, playing offensive line position is also about technique fundamentals, timing, and proper angles on your sets.
One of the great treats, and may he rest in peace, Kevin Green. But when we were down in Miami, and we were basically just telling stories, you and him, he came to hang out with Big Searcy, and we were lucky to be hanging out as well. But he told the story about how you had to pick your spot to get to him to neutralize him, and he was trying to get past that spot, and that's basically what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, listen, another thing that helped me fundamentally is that I had to see Kevin Green every day in practice. You're talking about one of the all-time sack leaders in NFL history. So, I mean, my game was elevated because we tried to kill each other in practice. we did. Yeah. And he brought it, I brought it, and we got better because of it. And I got better because I had to block him every day.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, so defensively, this team is sucking, lacking talent. Offensively, we definitely are trying to find the bright spots. But defensively, let's stay on that just with a bold fact here real quick when we talk about the National Football League right now.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
You can definitely check them out. They always enjoy seeing many of you Jaguar fans dropping by. Roselle Street in Riverside, that's the production house, and they got the slider basket specials, trivia, and BOGO wine tonight. Wednesday, every Wednesday there. And, of course, when you're heading to the Jags-Vikings game, drop on by Bold City downtown right there on Bay Street. You can see all they got going on at boldcitybrewery.com. So Jim Harbaugh walks into the National Football League, I should say walks back in to the National Football League, and instantly brings credibility to the LA Chargers. Does he not? He brings credibility to the defensive side as well as the offense. They're the 6th team since 1990. And think of the scoring that we're used to right now in the National Football League. This is the 6th team since 1990 to allow 20 or fewer points in each of its first 8 games of the season. Okay? Probably can't name all of the other 5, but if you want to just throw some guesses out as far as just some great teams.
86 Bears.
No. Believe it or not, the Bears
are since 90?
Yeah, since 1990, because that was the 85 Bears. They were a legend.
The 2000 Ravens.
No, believe it or not.
Wow.
So they have allowed 20 or fewer in each of their first 8 games.
The 99 Bucks. No, because we scored more on them. We scored 28. We scored 28 on them.
Okay.
The 92 Cowboys?
Nope. One of them had LT on it. So that was the 90 New York Giants. Okay. So 1990, the first 10 games, they held teams to 20 or fewer points. I'm going to have to go back and look. I guarantee you there were some good players on the 2013 Kansas City Chiefs. Really, really good. 2019 New England Patriots. We know Belly draws up defense. As a matter of fact, the Chiefs are on this list twice, and yet all we do is talk about Andy Reid and offense. They did it in 2013, which I believe was his first year in Kansas City, and then all the way back in 1991, they were able to do it. You know, the only other team, I've mentioned 5 of them, including the Chargers this year, was the 1999 Jacksonville Jaguars. That's where the round of applause back in the 1990s. 1999 Jaguars allowed 20 or fewer points in each of their first 8 games. They did it 9. So you were sitting there trying to think of how many you guys scored on Tampa, but you forgot about how many they didn't score on this Jaguars team.
Yeah.
So I'll finish that thought with this very simple thing. Don't ever tell Shad Khan this is the best roster this franchise has ever had when you can think of that stat right there in 1999.
Well, y'all were pretty good on defense.
Well, think about this. Our greatest free agent acquisition that year was Don Capers.
You better believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's funny because I fell in love with the idea that this DC might be that same kind of.
Not so much.
No. Dom Capers, a great defensive mind. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Every special teams player waits for his number to be called.
We got this.
After the game, we call the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Game ball, baby.
On 1010XL.
Good job, team.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Mia here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That will double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your double deposit bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Monday, November 11th is Veterans Day, and we'll be honoring those who have served our nation all day and night at String Sports Brewery in Springfield with a free barbecue sandwich, side, and a beer. That's for all veterans and active duty military members anytime on Veterans Day. Plus, our show will be there live from 4 to 6, thanks to our friends at Firewatch, which was created to address veteran suicide prevention, and the Cohen Clinic at Centerstone that offers outpatient mental health for active duty, post 9/11 veterans and military families. So come to Strings on Veterans Day.
Every Monday, David Garrard calls the signals and looks for you on Jaguars Today from 10 to noon.
Look past left prong. Oh, ready?
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com.
Duval!
On 1010XL.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Hurricane season is here, and now's the time to think about a home generator. My friends at Ricketts Electric can make sure your home always has power. They can install the perfect generator for your home and are even offering a 10% discount this month if you mention 1010XL. So call my friend Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960 or find them on Facebook. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them at 320-5960.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Discover luxury storage life at The Shed, opening soon in Atlanta Beach, for a place to store your cars, boats, and toys. A place for an office, a golf simulator, or a man cave. AC and plumbing available. The list of premium uses is endless. Take a tour on Instagram or go to theshedjacks.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by the YMCA. After helping lead the Gators to a victory in their season opener against the South Florida Bulls, guards Walter Clayton Jr. scored 29 points with Will Richards scoring a career high of 25. They will look to be key parts on both ends of the floor for the Gators this season. Head coach Todd Golden spoke on his dominating duo.
No, I mean, listen, we felt incredibly fortunate to be able to get them back in our program. You know, they're really, really loyal guys. We felt like they were guys that we could build around after last season. And, I mean, I'm just really happy for all those guys, but specifically Walter and Will. Obviously, 29 points, 25 points. You know, we feel like we have an explosive perimeter, and those guys on any given night could really help us win games.
The Gators will host JU tomorrow night in Gainesville, tip-off at 8 o'clock. Hear the game live on 1010 a.m. It's 82 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now, the Seminole Point of View with Rick Ballou. Brought to you by Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Dream it, drive it.
Well, our man, Rick Ballou, you hear him into the night, every night right here on the Superstation at Ballou 1010XL on X. Ricky B, I was thinking earlier, it may not be your two teams you 100% have at the top of your pecking order, but these are the two most important football teams for you. And neither one of them are having any success, bro. It is not good right now, is it? It is not.
No, it's not. Listen, I got the Boston Celtics, and unfortunately, they're not going to go 82-0 this year. They did lose a week and a half ago, but yeah, you know, I can't think of anything even remotely close. Since I was a freshman at Florida State in '87, they went through that 14-year run of top four finishes, and yeah, there's been some lean years, but nothing. And then you add the team here on Sunday. It's not even in the same stratosphere. It's been, and I've always said this, and people don't believe me. I like the off season more than in season because everything in season is measured by wins and losses. The off season, you can look ahead, you can watch them practice, you can kind of forecast what you think, but it's not stamped with a W or a loss. So I'm one of the rare guys out there who actually does like out of football season more than in season.
Now, Rick, at this particular point, would you like to see the younger guys play at this game? I mean, because the season right now at 1-7, would you rather see some of the young talent get some reps?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Leon. I mean, why not? I mean, finally this past week, Mike Norvell talked about how changes are coming. Now, I think he just did that to kind of calm down all the noise that is going on. And obviously, if you looked at the stadium against North Carolina, I've never seen anything like that. It was just awful. I mean, the fans have spoken, and they're not supporting this football team. So, he's tried the youth movement at quarterback. I still think he's kind of screwed that up, even though Kromenhoek did not play well against North Carolina. And you're starting to see younger wide receivers, the freshmen, finally get involved. You get more Cam Davis. If he was healthy, he's missed a couple of games at running back. You're starting to see a couple of other guys now, like Earl Little, for instance, a transfer from Alabama, getting more playing time the last couple of weeks in the secondary. He barely played at all in the first, I guess it would be 7 or 8 games. So, yeah, the youth movement is definitely underway, and I think you'll see that for the next 3 football games.
All right, so the question now becomes is recruiting and transfer portal. Does this shock of a season, Rick, if you had to just come out right now and say this as of today, does this shock of a season convince him that maybe relying on the portal so much isn't the way to go and that he has to recruit and do it more organically than with the portal?
Absolutely, but you have to do it that way at least one more year this year. This recruiting class is going to be awful. I mean, realistically, unless you just throw out offers or you can somehow get the NIL to work in your favor, I mean, you're looking at legitimately about 12 kids who are going to be a part of this year's signing class. And again, they'll take more, but I think they'll reach. They'll start taking 3 stars, and they'll be taking guys that other premier schools are not offering. And you'll see Florida State, get a kid who could have gone to what would be described as, lesser programs. And instead of battling the top programs that surround Tallahassee the way that they've always recruited, that is not going to be the case. The transfer portal worked for a few years. It exploded in their face this year. But because of what has happened with this roster, they have no choice. For the 2025 season, Mike Norvell has to go back and get into the transfer portal and try to get as many players as he can from other colleges, kids who have played at this level. That's not the way you want the future of this football team to be. But in the here and now, that has to be the approach from Mike Norvell coming up here in December and January.
Let me throw this at you real quick, okay? You and I have been doing this a long time. Right now, in the current 24/7 sports team rankings of recruiting, Florida State is 47th. Florida is 51st. Have you ever, in all the time you've been following recruiting, and you've been following recruiting a long time, seen that, and could you ever imagine that happening?
No, absolutely not. With all the talent in this state, I mean, you should just recruit yourself, even if you're having really down seasons. It's amazing to me. But, I think the big measure that we saw with recruiting and how it changed, even going back 15, 20 or so years ago, is that every game now is on TV. I mean, it was a time in recruiting where you could say, all right, you come play with us, you're going to get these nationally televised games, your mom and dad are going to be able to see you play. Every single game now is out there and it's available to see. So that hurt them a little bit. I also don't believe that today's kids care as much about tradition, about legacy, and that applies everywhere, not just in Tallahassee and in Gainesville. I think that that's all over the place. Today's kids are more about themselves, and now you add the NIL to it, and they'll go to a school that's maybe not as recognized or a school that's not considered one that, can play in a New Year's Day bowl, but they're getting more money and they're getting a good opportunity. So we've seen the entire landscape change in the world of college football. And the other side of that is Florida seems really fixable. It does. Now, whether they keep Billy Napier or not, I think a lot of that depends on how they play here and whether DJ Lagway plays over the next 4 ball games, 3 very difficult opponents, and you go into Tallahassee, which they should win, but it's still a rivalry football game. You can fix that by replacing your coach. You can fix that by knowing that you have a quarterback once he's healthy in Lagway. And I will credit Florida. I mean, I watched him again this weekend. That team plays hard. They're playing like they really want him to be the coach. Well, that's not the case in Tallahassee. I've been talking about this with you guys for quite a while. I mean, it feels like quite a few guys on that Florida State roster have mailed it in. and they're not playing as hard as they could, and that's very disappointing.
Yeah, it does suck. We're talking with Rick Ballou at Ballou 1010XL. You hear him into the night later on, and you know the program as well as anybody. And just going back to what you originally said, and I'm looking at Leon when I'm saying this as well, is that kids grew up wanting to go to Florida State, grew up wanting to go to Florida, and the same for Miami. And that is, we are so far removed from that, Rick. And then the other part of it is that you are asking guys to come in on basically a 250-day basis. Every 250 days, you're renewing a roster. Guys got to get to know each other, and the level of commitment, it simply is not there the way it used to be.
No, it's not. And this isn't just a football thing. This is just today's kids, today's generation. I'll give you a great example. One of our sponsors over at Showtime Sports Cards. I'm a long-time baseball card collector from years and years ago. By the way, if you're thinking of robbing my house, my good ones are in a safety deposit box, so you're not going to find them here. Yeah. But when I was 12, if I could get a Hank Aaron card or a Don Drysdale card or a Sandy Koufax or a Willie Mays, I mean, that's what it's all about. You can go into this Showtime Cards now on Phillips, and you can get the entire series from like 1995 for like less than $20. Today's kids could care less about getting a Kirby Puckett or a Jim Rice or a Dale Murphy or a Mike Schmidt. They'd rather have, a brand new Ohtani card or a brand new Freddie Freeman card. It completely boggles my mind how today's youngsters care more about right now and who's relevant compared to the founding fathers, the people who built it all. And it's not only in sports. I think it's in everyday life. And, there used to be something about, loving your granddad and wanting to hear his stories. I think today's kids would much rather sit down and play a video game.
Yep, friends and family are on that phone right now as far as they know. That's basically how that goes. All right, what do you got coming up later?
Well, we got a lot of fun coming up here today. I'm really going to hammer out the 12-team college football playoff. We were on air last night when it broke, but obviously a lot of heads and a lot of attention was elsewhere on Tuesday night. So we're going to relive that. I'm going to give what I like and what I dislike. I love the fact that we have 12 teams, but there's a little bit of controversy, which I think is good. It's also a huge weekend in the SEC where I think, 3 teams could be eliminated. The loser of that LSU-Alabama game, and certainly, we'll see what happens here with Georgia. If they knock off Mississippi in Mississippi, I think that's it for Ole Miss. So we have all that coming up. The latest on Trevor Lawrence with John Osher and the Jaguars, and we'll check the money out in Las Vegas with our good buddy Rafael Esparza.
Love it, Rick. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, he'll be coming up a little bit later on, and we didn't necessarily mention C.J. Beathard coming back on this football team, so we are interested in what that injury report looks like and all that stuff that'll be coming up that we will definitely dig into. We have to dig into one other little thing if we have time. Mike Gundy basically went Billy in the basement on his fans, so let's touch on that coming up. Golf Club of Southampton, Wednesday. Every single day, you're going to get a great golf experience. You can head on out there, call 287-PLAY. They've got membership opportunities, nice incentives where you can get Pro Shop credit, all sorts of extra incentives that you can come in if you do the 12-month membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Check it all out online or on Facebook.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Party! Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza. Yeah! Just not enough for a party.
Pepperoni, sausage, ground beef.
You pick 'em.
At 1010XL.com.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Jacksonville may have been down late in the contest, but with their perseverance, they showed that they were certainly not out. Thanks to a 9-play sequence capped off by a Trevor Lawrence 4-yard touchdown run, the Teal and Black made the score 28-23 with 4:04 left in regulation. The 70-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week, you'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize: 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at AMCOJacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Epic offers factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I do love all the podcasts that players are doing, and it could be in the college ranks or the NFL ranks. Like an example, Micah Parsons and I'm trying to think it was CeeDee Lamb. They were talking about the top quarterbacks in the NFL, and they failed to name Dak. You know, those little things. Right. So this one comes from Travis Hunter. And Jaguar fans should be paying attention to this one because he was on Shador's podcast, and Shador asked T. Hunter when he and his fiance plan to tie the knot. Hunter's response said, May 24th, right after rookie minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got who? Both talking about.
Yeah, both talked about it. They should get that prenup first. But you start to feel yourself, especially when the season starts to wind down.
So Shador's already said he's going.
Shador's already said he's going. One of his teammates asked him about spring classes. And man, spring classes. He said, "I'll be in the league."
Yeah, exactly.
But the league isn't until April, so January, February, and March.
Yeah.
He ain't going to class, baby.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Well, but
just don't like it.
Don't like what?
You know Shador's going.
Focus on they have a chance to play in the Big 12 championship.
Yes, they do.
Facts.
But this is the beauty of the podcast. Raw, unfiltered.
It is.
And they let you know what they're thinking.
Yep.
Let's ask this guy what he's thinking.
Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
We get to put eyes on Dr. George Bari. Gio, what's happening,
up?
buddy?
How are you?
In the house. We missed you last week. We had to be joined by phone. Who knows if you were in the operating room when this was all going down, and Kramer and they were up above watching you perform surgery. We have no idea. Eating juju beads. We have no idea.
Junior mints.
Yeah, junior mints. Junior mints.
They're refreshing.
Make sure I get this right. All right. We have got injuries to talk about with our man, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. If you have a sports injury question, you can easily hit the text line 641-1010. Throw a question our way, Gio's way, and he will try and help you as much as possible. Got a couple from the text line that I want to try and get to. I got to start off before we get to DJ Lagway and Trey Wilson and all the Gators. Shohei Ohtani, he underwent successful surgery to repair the labrum in his left shoulder. This happened yesterday. He is expected to be ready for the start of spring training. Remember, Gio, he was just ramping back up after Tommy John surgery last year. Anyway, this is the left shoulder. Give us an idea.
Yeah, and he wore that brace the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And that brace, a lot of football players wear it when they dislocate their shoulder and they want to still be able to play. And that basically that brace, what it does is prevents your arm from moving in a vulnerable position.
Right.
So it helps reduce the risk of dislocation.
Mm-hmm.
So he wore it for the last game, and then obviously the season is done, and now they're going to fix it. He should be fine. People usually do very well with labrum surgery. Obviously, anytime you have a surgery, things can happen, but normally he should be able to come back.
And this may be a dumb question, but I'm a radio doctor. I'm charged with asking the dumb questions. Would this slow down anything else with him coming back from Tommy John? Opposite arm.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
It should not.
Okay.
I mean, it should not.
Yeah. All right, so then the next dumb question is, do you think he'll be ready by the time pitchers and catchers report in February to throw?
Throw. Yeah. I mean, that's his opposite arm?
Yeah.
Of throwing? Yeah. So we're November, December, January, February. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be throwing, maybe not full speed January, February, but he'll be out there. He can definitely be out there throwing.
Yeah, and like we said, he already was ramping up in that department.
Right.
He had been
and
throwing
it's his
off the
opposite.
mound.
It's not his throwing arm.
His throwing arm is right.
Yeah, so then he should have no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, DJ Lagway.
Yes.
The slip on the slippery surface.
Did you watch it?
I saw it.
You saw it. Okay.
Yes. But then I heard Napier say that it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that obvious question is the cat that literally looked like it snapped.
Right.
He's on the field. Looks like his hamstring actually snapped.
Right.
He gets taken off on a cart.
Yeah.
And now it's not as bad as they think, and he might play, or is that just coaching gamesmanship?
I mean, look, it could be both, right? So you can pull your hamstring, and you can pull it right off the bone, the butt bone that you sit on.
Right.
That's called your ischial tuberosity. So you can avulse it, but that's usually a surgery if it's avulsed more than a certain amount separated.
And you're not playing.
Right. Or you just, I don't know. My son gets hurt and falls and screams. The next thing he's out there playing again. So maybe it's one of those things. I don't know.
Right, but is your son rolling around? They need a cart to come pick him up off the turf?
No, not a cart. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. I mean, I think we'll know if he plays this week. It was just gamesmanship or not.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had any surgery, so obviously it's not an avulsion fracture that needs or avulsion injury that needs a surgery. But it is.
If it was, he would have had surgery already, right?
So if you're avulsed a certain amount of distance, right, then if the bone is peeled off and it's not a certain amount of distance displaced, then yes.
You can't wait to have that surgery. It's got to happen.
I would do, yeah, because the more you wait, the more it's going to retract and much harder.
Okay.
It is not a fun surgery. It's a difficult surgery. But it is, from what we normally see, a little excessive to have a cart come out for a hamstring pull.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
that's what makes it interesting.
Okay, so I'm trying to read between the lines here. So then if he hasn't had surgery, and from what we know, he hasn't, right?
Right.
Then it wasn't avulsed.
Right.
Then he's either had a really bad hamstring pull, which
Sometimes
I don't know why you would need a cart to get off. You
right.
just
Sometimes guys freak out, and you try to make sure that.
True.
I mean, also it could be maybe they said just get on the cart. Yeah. Don't worry about walking. Just get on the cart.
Right.
And that could be a thing too, right?
Because remember, inside that stadium, Trevor had to walk all the way out.
Right.
Without the
And
cart,
so that's
remember?
a long, So the team could have just said, listen, you're hurting bad.
Yeah.
Just get on the cart. Don't worry about trying to hobble to the sideline.
But it was Napier himself who at halftime said he had a, quote, significant injury.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. And by the way, he is the least of the 3 Gators that are either hurt going into this game or coming out of this game. Trey Wilson, knee surgery, so he's gone for the season. And it's a very vague injury description in the college world, Gio, even more than the NFL. But the way they said it, it's described as a congenital issue uncovered over the course of the season.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
How long did they say he's out for?
Well, he's gone for the season, and he did have knee surgery, but they said they discovered it over a handful of games, which, by the way, it's worth noting. I'm looking at Leon and Matt. He only played in 4 games, so he was eligible to redshirt. So
how much longer is this? How many more weeks is the season? 3, 4?
4 more weeks.
4.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in a wheelchair, Joe.
Oh, no, I'm just saying. I want to know what the answer is.
Here's what I would say. There's a lot of congenital
Gets to
things,
save
right?
his red shirt.
But here's the one thing that is the most common that's found by accident is what we call a discoid meniscus.
Mm-hmm.
So your meniscus is a C-shaped. Some people have what they call a discoid meniscus, where instead of it being C-shaped, it looks like a frisbee, like a disc, and it's in your knee. It doesn't cause you any trouble. You can live your whole life with it until it tears, right? So when it tears, you have an injury. Say, oh, my knee hurts. You think it's a meniscus tear. You get an MRI, and the discoid meniscus has torn. And so that is found by chance on an MRI. You don't know until you get an MRI that you have that congenital abnormality. And then I'm assuming here, because we don't know for sure, that's what he had. They probably went in there, took it out, and then when you go in there with a torn discoid, you have to then, I like to say, use your artistic skills and cut it into the shape of a C to try to recreate what it should be, as opposed to what you were born with. So I would say, if I had to guess, that's what he had, a discoid meniscus.
Wow. Okay, one more quick one from them, and then we got a couple of texters. Treyon Webb from right here in Jacksonville, sophomore running back for the Gators, undergoing surgery next week to repair a fractured tibia. And so that was one that ended up on the injury report. Fractured tibia, how bad can that be?
It could be pretty, how did he hurt it?
Does not say.
So
Again,
usually,
vague.
Okay, so you have tibial shaft fractures, which we've seen. We talk about, I forget which player had it 2-3 weeks ago, where he put a rod down the leg. And those are usually done sooner rather than later. And then I've also, there's also what we call the medial malleolus. That is your ankle, but that is technically your tibia. But usually we don't call it, we don't say tibia, even though it is your tibia. So we call it the medial mal. I wonder if that's what it is. Usually when you wait a week for a fracture in these athletes, it's not like the surgeon is waiting for his timeline to open up, because these athletes, they just put him in to get it done. Sounds like he probably has severe swelling. When you have severe swelling, some surgeries you don't want to do right away, because you're going to get more swelling after surgery, and that's going to be a problem. So you wait for the swelling to go down before you operate on it. So that sounds like what's happening to him. If they're already saying we're going to do surgery next week.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially tennis elbow pain, says the texter. Best remedy to heal without surgery. Don't play tennis.
Yeah, I would wear a wrist brace because it shuts down the muscles that attach to your tendon. You could try tennis elbow strap, although I like a wrist brace more. You can ice it, anti-inflammatories, and then flex your wrist. You extend your arm out and bring your wrist down and stretch it, and then extend your arm out, bring your wrist up and stretch it. So stretch those extensors and flexors, and that can help the tennis elbow.
All right, one more. A 64-year-old male walks 6 to 8 miles daily, attempted to add running, but growing hip pain surfaced, including hip pain surfaced, including groin pain. Are they related?
68?
Yeah, 64.
Yeah, 64. So anytime you have groin pain in someone in that age bracket, you always start wondering if they have arthritis. You would like to get an x-ray because that's the most common thing at that age. So I would get an x-ray first to rule out any arthritic problems. I don't know what he means by hip pain versus groin pain. I'm assuming he means like maybe on the outside.
Right.
Pain on the outside could be a bursitis, but groin pain, a lot of times, when you get groin pain, you always have to get a hip x-ray because hip arthritis presents as groin pain.
All right, good stuff. Dr. George Barry, you can log on barryorthopedics.com. They can definitely help you, and it could be everything to avoid surgery or looking at the reality of surgery. You can do it all with our man, Dr. George Barry. They can find our podcast.
Apple, Google, Spotify.
Definitely check it out there or on 1010XL.com. We got Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. So we got a handful of questions we will make sure we include there or next week when Gio drops by. It's XL.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
There are trucks, then there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC has the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. With manufacturer incentives and Nimnick discounts, you won't find deals like Nimnick's anywhere else in Jacksonville. Who's got more new Sierras at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks GMCs in Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. Shop 24/7 at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. So remember, for the best trucks around, it's nobody but Nimnick. You can shop at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit that terrific showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time home buyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go see the Oregon coast. So you read a couple reviews and talk to some friends and save some money and you book it. Maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, you talk to a few friends, you try something out, and it doesn't work, and you're disappointed, and we've all been there, and it blows. But stop trying that and do what I did. Reach your goal with Awaken 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and you can too. Trust me, it was simple, a word you never hear used with weight loss programs, unless, of course, you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success, one that Hacker chose and has lost 107 pounds. The solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
Attention poker fans, the World Poker Tour is dealing hot at Best Bet Jacksonville now through November 19th. The action is fierce with 14 pulse-pounding tournaments, including the Best Bet Mystery Bounty and the $5,000 No Limit Hold'em main event with a jaw-dropping $1 million prize pool up for grabs. Your shot at Poker Glory is just a buy-in away. For tournament schedules and details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet Jacksonville and the World Poker Tour, where today's players become tomorrow's legends.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1981, Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitcher Fernando Valenzuela became the first rookie in MLB history to win the National League Cy Young Award.
Septic emergencies stink. Get your ducks in a row, and that's where we come in. We are Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 septic company in the region.
When you're stuck, call the duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars defense will face one of the NFL's elite wide receivers on Sunday in Minnesota Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was asked this morning if they plan to follow Tyson Campbell with a 3-time Pro Bowl wide receiver.
No, I don't think so. It's not. I think it's two ways you can look at it, right? You can take your best corner and put it on the best receiver, or you can put your best corner on their second receiver and put 2 guys on the best receiver. So that's what teams do. That's what defenses do. So we'll see how the week unfolds.
Doug Peterson this morning. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is it's week 10 of college football. How time goes by when you're having fun, especially when your team is 9-0. Now, if your team sucks, you can't wait for this season to be over. You have nothing to look forward to but recruiting next year.
What are you looking at me for?
I ain't saying nothing.
It does slip away fast.
It does.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
If you suck, it doesn't slip away as
Yeah,
fast.
no.
All right. I'm going to extend your college football takeaway. And I'm going to say, now that we've hit the first college football playoff poll, I think you start to realize the number of teams still in it, which is what we've been saying all along. And more importantly, you start to realize the gravity and the magnitude of the teams that are not in it and the fans of the teams that are not in it, and they're not happy. And our buddy Mike Gundy, friend of the program, was on his conference call earlier this week with media, and he got a little upset. Let's put it that way. Arjun, let's hear what he said.
That's why I refuse to watch the TV and watch the news, because I get tired of people complaining and bitching about this and that versus just doing something about it and trying to figure out a way to make it better. Well, that's what happens in college athletics. And as Jenny said, she's exactly right. It's just on the bigger stage where people can voice their opinion. And in most cases, the people that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their own family. They're not taking care of their own job, but they have an obligation to speak out and complain about others because it makes them feel better. But then in the end, when they go to bed at night, they're the same failure that they were before they said anything negative about anybody else.
See, the problem is...
Ouch, man.
The problem is, I mean, there's some truth to everything, okay? But he painted with a wide brush there with his entire fan base. And you're talking about guys that give a lot of money to that university that did not like that.
Yeah, you think T-Boone could pay his bills back in the day?
Yeah, but
that's worse than Billy in the basement.
It is. It is. But I think to his point is, and this is what I was trying to say is, you know, there's when something new comes along or if something leaves, there's never a vacuum. Something always fills it. So when now you're in the situation in college football where, oh, this is great, it's awesome. Now you've got 30, 35 teams that are still in this thing all the way to the end, and who knows what's going to happen. Well, if you're one of those teams that's not in it, and in the past you've been pretty good or even sometimes very good, you're going to have a lot of upset people, especially the people that are given to your NIL. So, yeah, I mean, you got to deal with that, and that's now part of the new college football world.
Well, I think more than anything else, Big Search, is that you could distance yourself from your booster fan base before because you were the head honcho, you were in control, you were making a lot of dough. You did a booster circuit. You may have said, "Hey, I want to do one in North Florida, one in Central, one in South, and that's all I'm doing," right? Because you could call the shots if you were winning. Now you need them to give to a fund, not only donate to the university to keep the facilities going, but donate to go get those players. You got to be a little more aware.
Yeah, but they got to be good to want to donate. They got to be winning. I mean, what was Oklahoma State's record? They were a little bit disappointing this season, weren't they?
Yeah,
they started out. They started off.
They haven't won a
top
game
20.
in the Big 12.
Okay, well, I mean, it sounds like a little pouting going on with me.
You better believe it.
It sounds like his prom date didn't show up or something
Mike
like
Gundy,
that.
you mean?
Yeah, he was invited to the party.
Of course. So here's what it is.
Weren't they one of the betting favorites going into
the
year?
They were. He's built up a lot of capital there. They've won a lot of games. He's had a really good team. They've averaged 9 wins a season since he's been there. He's clearly the best coach they've ever had there. And I think he believes, right or wrong, he deserves a little grace. I mean, he's brought them a lot.
Okay, you could ask for a little grace differently than he asked for.
Of course you can. Sure. Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He said it the wrong way. He apologized a couple hours later. There's no doubt he said it the wrong way. But I also think it's, he's annoyed that people are questioning him, and he's like, those trophies in your case there? I got you those trophies in your case.
Yeah, I think the 12-team playoff is now exposed coaches who win 9-10 games.
Right.
That's not enough.
Yes.
And that's why he's upset.
Yeah.
Because they're question marking him for he's had outstanding success. When he was at Oklahoma State, but now they're question marking him because they want more success because that success you had prior is not getting us in the playoffs.
Because Oak State sees like BYU unbeaten,
right?
Yes,
and they don't understand what's going on.
And now that the window's open, fans expect their team. They were always on the outside looking in. We like calling them Olies, and so now they expand it 3 times. It's the size. They're like, there's no way we can miss the playoff.
You know what it's like? It's like when you're at the club and the guys in the VIP section.
They ain't part of the club.
You ain't part of the club.
Yeah.
You know how it's roped off?
Yeah.
And everybody's in there popping bottles and having great. That's what the 12-team playoff is now.
And they already weren't part of the club when Oklahoma left and went to the SEC and didn't take them with them.
And here's another example. James Franklin. He's been an Ole. He's been on the outside looking in. He's ready to come in, pop the champagne, get in the VIP, get behind the velvet ropes.
Not yet.
And he ain't there yet.
Not yet, yeah.
He's 1-10 against his rival. And if they do lose again, then obviously they will be in peril in terms of the playoff. But that's the same guy.
Yeah.
He'll get angry if they start coming after him.
Oh, yeah.
And heck, Billy, the reason they were coming after him is because the product was terrible. So that's why.
Still is.
Yeah, that's why there's evidence for them to be frustrated by the product. And so,
I shouldn't say the product is still terrible. I think I think they played really well against Georgia.
Yes, the product has gotten better. And you know me, all I've ever asked for is to let me see the product, and the product is improving. It really is.
And they've got some good young players. There's no doubt about it. But they still have the guy on the sideline who just does the most unthinkable things, like your defense has played its ass off, your running game, your offensive line for the first time in 3 years is dominating Georgia.
Yeah.
And you put the ball in the hands of a freshman walk-on quarterback in the last drive of the game, the first play of the game. You ask him to roll out and throw across his body.
Yeah. This was
can't do that.
How many
You
quarterbacks have they
cannot do
played at that point? Huh? How many quarterbacks have they played at that?
3, but I mean, you can't do it. You've got to have the wherewithal of knowing I can't put that kid in that position. With all we've done in this game, we are so close to turning a corner here. I cannot put the game in the hands of a walk-on quarterback.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah. Well, I was just going back to the playoffs in Gundy real quick, which is crazy now if you think about it. 9 is not enough anymore.
Yeah.
9 wins is not enough.
And you know what Miami is facing is that there was a time when they've yet to win the ACC.
No.
They have yet to win it. But there was always some level of frustration, but also some level of patience. Like, okay, we'll get it right. We'll turn the corner. Now you've turned the corner. You're in a great position. You got to stay there now. And if you
plus,
don't,
bro, I don't want to take your joy.
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, but you get to that game, you're 12-0, and you lose to SMU.
We're not losing to SMU.
I don't know what happens at that point,
We're
man.
not losing to SMU. We're not doing
Because that schedule y'all play?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so here's a quick question.
That would be soul crushing, is what it would be.
I'm not thinking about it, man, because I know what you're trying to do.
All right, so here's a quick question. If those two, one-loss SMU, unscathed Hurricanes, get to the ACC title game, SMU wins it, is only one team from the ACC getting in?
That's the question.
And by the way, they'd have identical records.
We're not losing it.
I'm just saying.
I know what y'all saying. Y'all trying to put it in the ether.
No,
we're trying to throw a little funk on you.
I know
There's
you
no
are.
doubt.
Absolutely.
No
You're trying to put it in the ether, but I'm not claiming none of it.
You know what he's trying? He's trying to pull you down to his level.
I
He's
know.
down
That's what
here.
they do. That's
with
what
his
they
team.
do.
He's trying to pull you down.
Now he's playing the game of cutthroat. He's now trying to pit you against me. But the only reason I'm saying that is because we're talking about, remember how you opened the show?
Yeah.
4 SEC, 4 Big Ten, independent, Group of 5, ACC, Big 12. And so already it's stacked.
Y'all might need Notre Dame to lose
to
feel comfortable, honestly.
But here's a question I want to pose to both of y'all. What about, you know how the NCAA has the other bracket? What's it called? The NIT?
Yeah.
Maybe they create.
I'm telling you right now,
maybe they create one of those.
There absolutely can be one of those. But the problem is I think the bowl system will be very upset about that. I don't think they would do that because the bowls are basically that.
Okay, I got you. All right, I was just.
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I have been saying all along. I was saying back when it was a 14 playoff, I was like, well, why doesn't the Group of 5 just have his own playoff?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying the teams that don't get in, maybe you have an 18 playoff where they play against each other. There's still gonna be money, and then there's gonna be a prize at the end. It'll be a what you call it?
I don't know that
merit badge.
I don't know it would. I don't know that they would get. I don't think the media deal they would get for that would be more than the media deal they're going to get for the bowl games. I don't think they would do that.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just collectively. I'm thinking.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Have the NIT.
Yeah, and thankfully the bowl games have existed in such a. It's hard to fathom that you can have that many quote winners at the end of a season in any sport, but the bowls have created such where there's how many of them? 70 teams, I think right now, 70 that are playing in bowl games.
But I mean, to be fair,
36 of them walk out winners at the end of the year.
It's as much for those teams that are not in the playoff. It's always been this way, but now more so for those teams not in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's 15 more practices. That's the key.
Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah.
That's the key. They want to get those young guys ready to play for the next season. So that's really the important thing.
But here's the problem you're having to deal with, too. How many kids, they don't make the playoffs with their NIT, how many that will pull themselves
they'll opt out, sure.
Opt out for the NFL.
But that's all right because then that's what I'm saying. That's what those bowl games are for anyway. They're for developing young dudes. Mm-hmm. So you got 15 practices of developing the young guys, then you go play them in a game.
Mm-hmm. I will watch it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course.
Yes, if it was an 18 bracket NIT type of game, I would watch it.
The group of five probably.
Well, you watch the bowl games, right?
Yeah, I watch the bowl
games.
Yeah.
And the bowl games still have recognizable brands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Group of five doesn't necessarily have that. Doesn't mean they can't create it, but they probably need to figure out whether they want to rope off their own arena because they may get shut out of this big boy thing when it's all said and done.
Right, but you're
2 years.
You'll watch Michigan play. You'll watch Michigan play. South Carolina in a bowl game.
Yeah. Oh,
You're not watching Charlotte playing Tulsa in a Group of 5 game.
Brand recognition on the other one. Speaking of brand recognition,
here he is.
You kidding me?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
The brand is the embedded and shredded. Got T-shirts he's selling on the side right now. Hayes Carline joins us now.
Hotcakes, selling like hotcakes, Joe.
A group of five. Have you ever thought about that? That they may break off?
No, let them break off. Do whatever they want. I'm not going to watch it.
You're not watching Chattanooga? Okay, I get it. What did you think of the first round of the college football playoff rankings?
I thought it was interesting. I love the 12-team playoffs. I didn't get too into this because, for one, my team is far from the 12. Yeah, so there's nothing really as a fan that I can kind of latch on to as well. If this happens and that happens, then, But, I mean, in looking at it, it's still a little convoluted in that, like, BYU is 9, but really they'd be 4, when you fill out the bracket.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's great for the sport. I can't wait to watch the games in December. And, it was interesting seeing the teams that were just out. SMU is a 1-loss team out. Alabama 2-loss team in. So, yeah, there was some interesting things to it that we'll certainly get into on the Frangie Show coming up.
All right, you guys will be hitting that. And what else?
We will. We'll have our State Farm College Football Report as well. So we'll talk Gators, Knowles, and Canes, and we'll certainly get into a bunch of Jaguar stuff as well.
All right, my man.
Thank you, guys.
Hayes Carline, Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva as they get it cranking. Coming up in just a few. We's done. We had a good time, that's for sure. Thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget, check them out every day of the week. You can log on and also check out Facebook because if you're talking about an initiation fee where you can get $1,000 off and get a $500 gift card to use in the pro shop, take advantage of it. All the details are right there at the Golf Club of Southampton. 287-PLAY. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ. We will talk to you at noon tomorrow, so be sure and tune in for XL Prime.
You ought to get the ball around the infield.